This is a Pele Media podcast.
Welcome back to Goonies Minute, everybody. Goonies Minute is the fan podcast where we carefully explore the movie Goonies minute by minute. This is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we are joined for the last time today by Brad and Amy. Guys, it's been a hell of a time having you here this entire week, but unfortunately, we must part ways today after we get through this amazing minute.
It's been a lot of fun. We really appreciate you guys. Well, I really appreciate you guys having on. I don't want to speak for Amy.
Yeah, Amy doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, and I actually don't know quite how much longer we have with Goonies Minute. We're coming up kind of near the end, I think.
I think, what do we have, 20 minutes left, 25 minutes, something like that. We figured that out the other day. We can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun having you guys on, and I'm glad we were finally able to coordinate because, as we saw back on Monday, it was very difficult to get Amy patched into the conversation. But we were able to make it work, and I think we've got some really great episodes out of it, so I appreciate you guys coming on. Tell you what, if you guys want, let's get into the minute.
Let's do it.
Woohoo!
Let's get in a minute.
In the previous minute, the Goonies found themselves in a new room. At the center was a massive organ made completely out of human bones. On the map was a riddle written in Spanish. At minute 79, Mouth is able to decipher what is written on the map. It says that the organ must be played for anyone to move further. Mikey spots musical notes on the back of the map. Andy is ushered up to the keys of the organ as she is the only one who knows how to play. Luckily, the first note she hits is right. A door on the far right of the room opens and light spills into the cave. And thus ends minute 79 of the Goonies. So the first thing I notice here at minute 79, as Andy is trying to figure out the right notes to play, Brand has that lantern hanging right over the keys of the organ. And every time I see it, I'm like, move it back, just get it away from there. If you drop that on there, you're all just going to, God only knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. Sorry, I had a comment actually about the English translation of the kind of instructions that Mouth reads. Why does the English translation rhyme?
I've never thought of that.
I never thought about it. I was going to mention the translation, but I didn't think about that.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of an amazing translation if he can make it rhyme.
Yeah, in English. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chris, what were you going to say?
Hey, thinking more advanced than me. No, I was thinking, after they said, and you'll be dead if you make mistakes. Of course, what you see is, and you often see in kids' movies, even though, like, we sit and watch this, okay, they'll be dead if they make mistakes. And then Brand says, that means you have to play the bones to get out of here. It's like, no duh, But you get that sometimes in kids' movies because as a kid, it's almost like you need to verify what's going to happen if you don't play the keys right. Yeah. It's like we can sit here and say, okay, obviously. But we've seen that in this movie before. Well, we're like with the wishing well.
Mm-hmm. Andy.
Oh, this is the place where you throw to make wishes come true. It's like, oh, yeah,
is that
it's
why
a
they
wishing
call
well.
it a wishing well?
No, duh, And but again, as a kid, we needed to hear those things to verify what was going on. Whereas an adult, we look at it and like that's obvious.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's something you got to keep in mind. Now, okay, so Andy starts off by hitting the right note as the first note,
which is kind of amazing because she says kind of quickly as she's going up to the keys that she had piano lessons when she was 4. Long time ago.
It's a very... And I think
what'd she say? It's not my mother's, is it Steinway? What was it? It's a Steinway, yeah. It's not my... This is nothing like my mother's Steinway.
A Steinway, a brand of piano. Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I do like the fact that it starts off with the right note because it makes sense that she would start off with the wrong one and someone would almost fall and, oh, God. But she hits the right note. And that kind of adds to the unpredictability of the rest of the sequence, It's just... You don't quite know how it's going to play. Granted, we know how it's going to play out. Someone's going to almost fall and die. But the fact that they started off with the right note is kind of unique. But I have a question. Has anyone ever been to Big Kahuna Water Park in Destin, Florida, by any chance?
Nope.
No, I have not.
No, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I've been to Destin a bunch of times, but for some reason I've never been there.
It's like right off the highway. It is this massive water park, and you can see the whole front of it from the street. And I mean, it looks like a giant mountainside with waterfalls coming down and all of these chutes and slides and everything like that. And there is a pirate ship that looks like it's crashed into the mountainside, and it's now lodged there. And it's just the sails are kind of swaying in the wind, and it looks, cracked and worn away after years of being stuck there. And you can actually go walk through a cave that goes kind of through the pirate ship, in between the pirate ship and the mountainside. And there's just water dripping through there, and you can see through the portholes and all of this. It's so cool. Every time, because we went there a couple of times when we were kids, and every time the first thing that comes to mind is the Goonies. And you just can't help but play Goonies when you're going through there. And, of course, the water slides that go in and out, it just really takes you back to the moment in the movie where they are going through the water chutes in the mountain. So,
No
cool.
booby traps there?
There's no booby traps. I mean,
okay.
You could probably slip and bust your ass, but that's about as close as you're going to get to a booby trap. But it's not set by One-Eyed Willie, just the managers of this water park.
Chester Copperpot. He's not there either, huh?
He's not there.
Okay.
Believe it or not. But anyway, I just wanted to see if anyone has done that, and no one has, so my story is completely pointless.
Boom, 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 boom.
Bum, bum, ba, ba.
So one of the things that was funny about this scene is, and I realized that this is such a recurring trope where there's always the kid who sort of knows what they need to do to get out of the situation, but not quite. They know what the kid went to computer camp 1 year, so they know just enough to, Jurassic Park had that where there was the one girl who knew just enough about computers to reboot the system to save them from the velociraptors.
Yeah.
It really happened a lot with kids being computer geniuses because that's what the generation before thought all kids were. They think all kids know how to program and do things with a computer that can't be done. It's like, oh, okay, we'll just have the kid type away at the computer, and then the car will lock and turn on. But this was the thing where one of the kids knows a little bit about music enough to get through this scene. It's like I wonder if you had a group of 8 kids, probably one of them would have had piano lessons at some point. But I doubt that. I don't know. You put together 20 people, how many of them can read music?
Yeah. And well enough to be able to get through a situation like this. It's interesting that you say in a lot of movies, especially kind of this era, there were sequences and characters that just sort of mirrored each other. You had the one person who had that one skill that was going to save the day. I think you could take from the moment that Andy steps up to the organ to the moment that they make their escape, you could easily switch that out with the moment in Jurassic Park where Lex turns and runs to the computer to the point where the doors lock, and it kind of plays by the same beats and serves the same purpose. So it's just one of those things that's kind of predictable in a movie like this, a movie that's aimed at kids.
And it's not even a criticism. It's just and especially this was an earlier case of this happening, but you see it so often in movies, and I'm glad at least she wasn't a good piano player. If she had been, I don't know, if she had gone on and just started playing chopsticks or something. But, at least there was some tension. But it is just funny. There's always that one person and they never did anything to establish that she knew music at all, which makes sense because she hadn't played since she was 4, blah, blah, blah. But, they didn't have her at a piano store with her friend, with Steph, like playing a piano. It's like, oh, I haven't played in years, but I know how to do this.
Yeah.
There was no establishing that part of the character.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. Those are about all the notes that I have for 79. Does anyone else have anything?
That's all I have.
I had something, but I think it actually happens in the next minute, but I won't be here for that because you're kicking me out, so I kind of want to mention it.
Go ahead.
So I think the last chord, when Andy's looking really closely at the music, she's trying to figure it out, and she says, I can't tell if that's an A sharp or a B flat.
Those are the same note.
Are they?
Those are the same note, yeah.
Ooh,
Really? Oh my God! Wow.
that's a great catch.
So. Do you think
You
that's,
might have been able to play that bone piano.
Exactly. I wonder if that's just complete negligence on the writer's part, or if that's just a joke that they threw in there because Andy's kind of a ditz. Who knows?
I might have misunderstood it, but, you know.
Careful observation.
That's what happens when you have musical talent on the show. She's able to pick those things out.
Exactly.
That's my area of expertise.
Yeah. Well, it's been so much fun having you guys here this week. We really appreciate y'all coming on, and I'm so glad we were able to get you on for a full 5 minutes, and as opposed to 2 as we've been doing over at Jurassic Park Minute for the most part. But before we let you go, Brad, tell us a little bit about where we can find you on the internet.
Well, you go to CosmicGeppetto.com, and that's where you'll find what's sort of the home of the Cosmic Geppetto podcast. It'll also be the home of our own Minute by Minute podcast. We're going to be starting, and might be starting right around the time these episodes come out, Minute of Darkness, where we're going to do a minute by minute takedown of the Bruce Campbell classic, Army of Darkness. You'll get a chance to hear Amy sing on that. We have right now I think we have 4 different versions of the theme song, and Amy does one of them, and we're actually sort of opening that up where we're asking listeners, is like, hey, if you sing, do a version of the theme song and send it in. And we've already got a couple, and it's going to be a lot of fun
awesome
with that.
So you're saying I've got competition, is what you're saying?
I'm saying there's going to be enough episodes we can rotate people through. There's no competition for you, Amy.
Aww.
Other than that, to find me on the internet, don't look, because I don't want those videos being found.
Well, tell us a little bit more about, if people were to go leave a 5-star review for the show, what could come of that?
All right, well, we're on minute 79, and I think we're going to move it to, if you give a review of Goonies Minute on iTunes, we are going to, the Cosmic Geppetto podcast will do a $1 donation towards the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, CFF.org. It's a company that frequent co-host of the Cosmic Geppetto podcast, Jarf, works for, as well as Brady's sister-in-law works for. It's a great organization. They do a lot of great stuff. It's a well-regarded charity. And, we've done this before, and we've been able to make a couple donations, and we want to keep, putting good stuff into the world, and build up some good karma. And it's especially nice because you're doing good things, and also when I build up good karma, it means I get to be a real a-hole for the rest of the week.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing all that, man. That's very much appreciated by us and our listener base and just everybody who it goes to support. That's amazing. So, Amy, what about you? Where can we hear you online?
Well, my band does have a website.
Okay.
It's midnightdrive-ohio.com.
All right.
And there's some pictures there and video clips and song clips and all that good stuff.
Awesome. So everybody definitely be sure to go check that out. And Christopher, I guess they can catch you back here Monday, huh?
They can catch me Monday, and of course, as we get down to the end of this, Brady, you and I will talk about some other podcast stuff that we'll be doing in the future.
That is right.
Until then, that's all I have.
That's all we got. All right. Well, thank you so much again, Amy and Brad, for coming on. And thank you, everybody, for listening. We're going to see you back here Monday. And until then, this is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we're here to remind you that Goonies never say die. Goonies Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the show, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can find us at GooniesMinute.com, Facebook.com/GooniesMinute, Twitter.com/GooniesMinute, and at Instagram at GooniesMinute. You can contact us at GooniesMinute@gmail.com. You've been listening to a Pele Media podcast. For premium content and exclusive podcasts, visit us at Patreon.com/Pele Media. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Pele Media and follow us on Twitter at Twitter.com/Pele Media.